guys, welcome to another episode of the Tampa Bay Real Producers Podcast. This, of course, is the podcast that is made for real producers, by real producers, and with none other than Tampa Bay's real producers, and powered by Top Producers Nation, which is designed to help real estate agents all over the country become top producers in their desired markets. So you can learn more about that at topproducersnation.com. Today, we get to hang out with the local legend herself, Miss Ginger Perkins. How you doing, Ginger?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, it's great to have you here today.
Thank you.
I met Ginger really for the first time when she was nominated and then won our Icon Award for agents that have been licensed over 25 years and obviously have withstood the test of time in the real estate industry. And Ginger was nominated by her peers here in Tampa Bay for that category. She ended up winning that category as well at our big banquet, which was back in April this year. And that was actually the first time we ever got a chance to meet. And then Ginger got to hang out a little bit with us last night as we celebrated her feature in our August issue of Tampa Bay Real Producers. So check that out online too at tampabayrealproducers.com. You can see our story on Ginger Perkins in there as well under our local legends section. So Ginger, why don't we dive in a little bit to just your background for people who might not know your story yet. Did you grow up in Tampa? How did you get to Tampa, if not? And when did you get interested in real estate?
I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay.
In 1990, my husband, well, actually shortly before 90.
The Bayou country, huh?
Yes. My husband transferred with his company here, and then my daughter and I followed him at the beginning of 90.
Okay.
I was an academic business administrator at LSU for 19 years, serving deans, directors, chancellors, vice chancellors.
Yeah.
Then followed the same career path at USF for 3 years, and quite frankly got tired of making gentlemen rich off of my good work. So I decided to pursue real estate. But my daughter's the real reason I'm in real estate, because she was in nursing school and had a part-time job with a local realtor, and came home one day and said, "Mom, you need to go in real estate. You'd be great at it."
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you have any interest in real estate prior, or did you know anything about it?
Never
Or
even thought about it. Didn't even know how you got paid. Knew nothing about it. Went
Wow.
to real estate school, and the rest is history.
So that's a cool story, because I mean, as working as an administrator, it's not that you were getting paid salary, I take it.
Yes.
Right. So it's not like you have a business background where you were building an entrepreneurship
Right.
type venture or anything like that. So it must have been a little bit of a shock for you to kind of dive into real estate right away, or did you crush it from day one?
Well, that's a two-part answer. My father was self-employed, so I knew what it was like to be self-employed.
Okay.
And I did dive in it right off the bat, but my very good friend, who was a vice chancellor of student affairs at the College of Medicine, was very instrumental in helping me get started,
Nice.
referring me to incoming residents.
Mm-hmm.
And I just put them in apartments or townhomes or condos, some purchased.
Mm-hmm.
And people laughed at me saying, "Why are you working these apartments?
Rentals.
Rentals."
Yeah.
And I said, because 4 years to 7 years from now, they're leaving the area and they're going somewhere.
Yeah.
And 4 years later, I had 18 outbound referrals in 1 year. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
A lot of times agents don't have that vision.
Yeah.
It's all short term, right? They just want to make the money now, and that if I can't get it now, why bother, right? But you're right. There's a pipeline there that you can build, especially when you're new and just trying to get things going.
And because my father was self-employed, he taught us. His favorite saying was, "You better be able to sign your name to your work at the end of the day." So I think he built that ethic of knowing how to do the right thing and not putting yourself first.
Yeah.
And that's really what was the catalyst for my career.
That's cool. That
Yeah.
makes sense. So in the years now that you've been licensed agent, is it all just been rainbows and unicorns and sunshine for you? Or
Sorry for laughing. I have seen it all.
I'm sure.
From the foreclosures and short sales to the 1921 offers on the same property. I've been through it all. And the greatest part of all of it is that if you do the right thing and you put the customer or client first, then the paycheck follows.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's been the guiding kind of principle of all these years, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you ever think about leaving real estate?
Not really.
Did you find that you loved it right from the beginning, or did it? Yeah,
I did, and I think it was because of the ability to control my own destiny.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, that makes sense, especially when you didn't feel like you had that.
Right. When you work for a dean who's already been through a wave of accreditation for the college he's in, and then he had to go through that again, and then you process a $75,000 pay raise for him, you decide,
sure,
time to
what
make
about
a
me?
change. Yeah, right. Time to make a change.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. What were some of the most exciting things you can think about in real estate, whether these are just years you had or specific even customers or clients or moments? Like, what are some of the highlights that you can remember?
For me, my greatest achievement was to be able to practice real estate and manage my 3 grandsons at the same time. My daughter and son-in-law were both in medicine, so I took them back and forth to school from kindergarten on. And when the oldest one started driving, then I still had 2 more to taxi. And I think being able to balance all of that and be the quintessential grandmother while becoming a strong agent was very important to me.
That's cool. Yeah, the flexibility that can provide.
Yep.
And being there and having the freedom to do it.
Right.
Yeah, that's very cool. So you have 3 grandkids?
24-year-old and twin 22-year-old brothers.
Are they all local?
Yes.
That's cool. And so you had how many kids yourself?
1.
You had 1.
Yeah,
okay.
their mother.
Is she local?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So the families all stayed pretty close to each other, huh?
Yes. We had crawfish boil Sunday.
That's cool.
There were 12 of them at my house.
Are any of them in real estate yet?
No, all of them are in medicine.
Okay,
yeah.
Interesting. So you are you're kind of the entrepreneur of the family, and they're just sticking with the medicine side, huh?
Right.
So in the real estate career that you've had, I know you talked initially about how you got traction through your initial network, right? And started getting your deal flow going, helping people even with renters if need be. Are there any strategies over the years that you kind of really honed in on, or that really was a big part of your success that you kept repeating, or from a lead gen side of things, or anything else that you feel like really worked for you, that maybe you still do, or maybe you don't anymore?
I still do, and it was to write a personal note after every appointment, whether the appointment was with a listing, or for a buyer, with a buyer.
Okay.
I would immediately write the note, and I'd actually drive to the post office and drop it off.
Nice.
And people said over and over again that was really something very impressive for them. And I still,
especially now, right, with the internet rise, it's like the whole personal note thing is a lost art.
Exactly. And I still have customers and clients that I did business with in the 90s, coming back to me, 2nd and 3rd generation.
Is most of your business referral heavy, would you say now?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what percentage of your business comes from referrals?
Like 90%.
It's that high.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And obviously that doesn't happen unless you've really built and taken time to mature and nurture those relationships, right? Because that's really what it's all about over time. Now, you mentioned earlier, Ginger, that you had years that were in that 20 million range, as a peak year. I'm sure you've seen ebbs and flows, just like that's what's going to happen when you've been in the business.
Right.
Do you know what your career volume is now? Is that number?
It's probably close to 300 million.
Okay. Yeah. Does that even mean anything to you?
When I think about the number, it is amazing to me. I kept spreadsheets at the end of every year, and I just don't feel like I did that much. It just didn't feel like it was a chore or difficult to do. It just kind of came natural.
Yeah, if you just keep doing the right things, right?
That's right.
Time will pass, and enough. Do you have any idea how many customers you've served over those years?
Thousands.
That's cool.
My highest number of transactions with one person was 16. The same person.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you still work with that client?
Yep.
16 transactions. Is that like an investor, or?
Well, he tried to be until the market caught up with him.
So he might not be much of an investor right now, huh?
I saved his marriage, I think, too.
Oh, wow. So you've been helpful in many ways with this person. You mentioned earlier that you've had 13 closings in one day.
Yes.
That's impressive as well. Quite a hectic day, I would imagine, but yes.
It was ridiculous.
While you were on a cruise ship, I think you were saying.
Yes.
Looking back on your career, Ginger, what do you think is the most fulfilling part of the career you've had?
Being able to share my intellectual expertise with both the buyer, the seller, the other agent, so that everybody walks away from the transaction happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important because too often I think people do not realize that they are dealing with the client or customer's most valuable asset 9 out of 10 times, and
Absolutely.
they don't take that seriously.
I mean, for most people, it is going to be the biggest investment they've ever made, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so for them, it's usually a pretty emotional time because it's generally
Right.
more money than they've ever really spent before
Right.
on a specific thing. And so your ability to consult them through those emotions, I'm sure, is there's a lot of people who kind of say that a great real estate agent is pretty much a great psychologist, right?
Had a minor in psychology in college.
And now you're using it on the regular for sure.
Right.
What would you say are, I mean, it doesn't have to just be one necessarily, but what do you think are some of the challenges, like the biggest challenge that you think you had to deal with or learn how to overcome in your career with real estate? Are there certain challenges that came to mind?
Well, I think at first it was the fear of not having a regular paycheck. That, having had a regular paycheck the entire time I'd ever previously worked.
Yeah, that can paralyze some people.
Right, overcoming that. And then my husband was working, so there was that money. Then one day he walked into the office and said, well, you're going to get your wish. I'm quitting my job and I'm coming to work with you. And I went, oh, great.
He saw that it was too good on your side.
Yeah, so we overcame it. I think that part of it was one of the biggest fears I had.
Sure.
Yeah.
That makes
And
sense.
then where's the next deal coming from? And I think at the beginning, that's something all agents concern themselves with. But once
I'm sure there's times where it feels like you're never going to get a deal again, right?
Right. Once I realized what it took to get deals and keep them together, then I just kept moving forward.
What are some lessons or a lesson that you might share to a newer agent who's trying to who loves the business, but who's like, I would love to have a type of career that Ginger had,
Pick up the phone.
But they just can't see themselves making it happen or seeing how that can happen.
Right. They need to pick up the phone and talk to people.
Yeah.
I think automation is great, but texting throughout a transaction is really, in my mind, not a good thing to do because it's not practicing real estate the way it's supposed to be.
It's not emotional.
No.
You can't sense what they're really thinking or feeling on the other line.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's powerful. It makes sense. And it is kind of scary in a way that so many, especially the younger generation, are like almost intimidated to just have a conversation on the phone. It's like, because they're just not used to it, right?
No,
Most of their life has
exactly.
been through the computer or through a texting service. And it's like, there's something missing there.
Yeah. And what I like to do is dispel the concern. I like to pick the phone up when somebody's going to show a listing or has the buyer or whatever for one of my listings and just introduce myself and say, look, you and I have the same goal. It's to get these two people together to the closing table.
Yep.
So let's work together and let's get that done.
Yeah. This is a collaborative effort.
Right.
Now, you've had some experience in managing big teams over the years.
I was the managing broker for 1,100 agents in 3 offices.
Yeah, I would say that's a pretty big team, 1,100 agents. So what did you enjoy more, like working just with your clients and everything that comes in those transactions, or the actual, because when you were doing that, I'm assuming you weren't doing as much personal volume,
No,
right?
actually, I had somebody else managing my personal volume.
Sure, I would imagine you'd have to.
What I enjoyed about that the most was that it was a constant test of my knowledge that kept somebody else out of trouble.
Yeah.
And I felt very fulfilled and very satisfied throughout that 18 months. I really did.
Okay. So you did it for 18 months. What made you stop?
People kept calling me and wanting me to do business with them again, and not sending somebody else to this. So I said, okay, fine. I'll get back into real estate.
Do you regret that, or do you think it was all it was everything worked out the way it was supposed to be?
I believe things happen for a reason.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think that 18 months was a very good experience for me.
What did you like about it the most?
Just being able to help other agents, sharing my knowledge,
Yeah, you were running kind of team meetings, I would imagine, regularly and doing some individual
Training,
coaching if need be.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you still have a relationship with a lot of those agents today?
Yeah. Honey Weedman's one of them. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We got to hang out with Honey last night at our MVP social. She was featured in the same issue. So that's cool. So she was part of that 1,100 group that you were coaching back then?
Yeah.
That's very neat. It must be, I know even with, I used to have a Cutco business, the knife company, right? And I had a team as well of a couple thousand sales reps up in Connecticut and New York. And that was fulfilling to watch them hit certain promotions, hit certain goals, hit their income goals. Some of them even went on to become managers and run their own offices. And some of them are still good friends of mine to this day. But that is a fulfilling feeling as a leader to kind of see that work I'm putting into somebody's actually paying off, you know?
Exactly.
So you don't miss that as much anymore, huh?
No, not really.
You like working with your clients?
Yes.
You're still doing real estate full time?
Yes.
Right?
Well, if somebody calls me, I do it.
Okay.
But I'm not seeking the public like I did when I had a big team.
You're not hunting the leads.
No.
It's mostly old client base at this time?
Yes.
Okay. And so what are some things you would share about, I mean, a lot of people I think would want a business where they can pretty much work through referrals only.
Right.
Right? I mean, it's an ideal format to have, but it's not easy to get there.
No.
It's a journey to make that progress happen. You mentioned the personalized notes as a cool tip a little bit earlier. What are some other things you would share, Ginger, that you think really make an impact in building a referral business that could be sustainable over time?
Contacting your people at least once a quarter. Just taking a couple of days and making phone calls and calling, and if they don't answer the phone, leave a message. And just make sure people know you're still out there. They may not need you right away, but they will call you when they do need you, because they remember that you stay in touch.
Staying top of mind.
Yes.
And for you, it's just been as simple as making sure, do you have some sort of CRM or something that reminds you to contact your people, or it's just all easy for you?
Ingrained.
Yeah, your brain is your CRM, huh?
That's right.
That's what works for you. What's your, like, how many core clients would you say you have that you're trying to keep in contact like that?
About 100 right now.
Okay. Has that been pretty consistent
Yes.
over the years?
Yes.
That makes sense. So you're trying to make sure you're at least talking to 25 of them every couple of months, and you just rotate that out.
Right.
And every year, I guess, they're at least a contact, right? Being made with that target list. There's a lot of business models that's interesting. I love marketing, obviously, and media and everything we get to do. But in our space, there's a lot of these business online marketers who talk about what they call their Power 100.
Right.
Right. And it's a very similar concept to what you're talking about in real estate, of knowing who those 100 clients are that you want to have some sort of consistent presence with. So it makes a lot of sense, I think, from that perspective. There's a great book out there, too, called Never Lose a Customer Again. Joey Coleman is the author, and he's got some great, like, marketing principles around how to stay in top of mind with that target list, right? Of that 100 for sure. So what gets you excited now when you think about where you want your business to go? Do you have annual goals that get you still excited, or are you more motivated by other things? Like what gets you excited now?
Well, I'm more motivated by playing piano and reading and refinishing furniture than I am about chasing real estate.
And you have the time to do those things,
Yes,
huh?
yes, which has been put off for a long time.
How many transactions a year are you doing now?
It's more referrals.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I just referred out a $2 million listing because make a phone call, make a $10,000-$15,000 and go play piano.
Be content.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are some things that you love to do for fun? What keeps you busy?
Family.
Your
I'm
grandkids?
very close to my grandsons. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
What do they do for fun? They're a little older now. They're not playing the Little League Baseball series anymore,
Yeah,
huh?
we went through all the baseball and the karate and all of that for years and years. But no, all of them are very active in medicine one way or the other. The oldest one leaves for Greece on the 7th with his girlfriend.
Okay. That's a big trip.
Yes. The twins, the oldest twin is working at Tampa General, where his mother works.
Okay.
And the youngest twin is a CrossFitting instructor and going to go to chiropractic school. And just staying in touch with them and being a part of their lives is very, very important to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And your husband, does he work?
He's retired.
He's retired now? Okay. So you guys get to spend some time together, travel at all, or what?
We have done a lot of traveling, and we're kind of scaling that down a little bit. His health is not as good as it should be.
Okay.
We've been married for 53 years, so that's
awesome.
A long time.
We could do a whole podcast just on that. My uncle had this joke because he was married to his wife for over 70 years.
Wow.
And when years ago, I remember asking him, like, what are some secrets about having such a great marriage, right? And he goes, well, when we first got married, my wife came to me and said, you're the man of the house, so all the big decisions I'm going to let you make, as the man of the house. But all the little decisions, I'll handle them as the woman of the house. And he goes, in 53 years, we haven't had one big decision.
That's about the way it works, too.
Yeah, exactly. So I learned that lesson, I think, too. We've been married now, my wife and I, about 12 years, right. With our 5 little ones and whatnot. So, but you only had one, huh?
Yeah.
Never wanted more kids?
No, I had lost 2 pregnancies, one before her and one after her. So
Gotcha.
I said, I'm done.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And so what were some of the favorite things that you and your husband traveled to? What are some of your favorite places?
Well, we went to Italy. We lived in Frankfurt for a year, for our first year of marriage, because he was in the Army and he was stationed in Frankfurt.
Okay.
And we didn't live on a base. We lived on the German economy, and that was an experience that we relive when we are together constantly as if it happened yesterday.
Oh, wow.
And it was, the first year of marriage. And then when we were married for 30 years, we went back to Germany and Italy. Mm. And I want to go back next year. It's convincing him that we need to do that is the big decision I'll make. Yeah.
Did you enjoy living in Germany or Italy more, or which one?
Well, we visited Italy for our 30th wedding anniversary. I really enjoyed living in Germany, but we spent about almost 3 weeks in Italy, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's funny. We just had Paul, as you met, on the show, and we talked a lot about Italy on the podcast because he has a place out there. And I've been out there personally for about 2 weeks just to visit Rome and Florence. Nothing too crazy, more touristy areas,
right.
But I really appreciated my time out there because I feel like the lifestyle was very different. The food was different. The whole experience of it was like a 5-hour meal was very different. I've never been to Germany, though, and I actually am part German, so it's on my list to go check out. I'd love to go do it. Yeah. My football team, I'm from New York area, so I'm a Giants fan and a Bucks fan, but Giants fan too. And they're playing in Munich this fall. They have a game there, so I'm trying to figure out if I can swing that and get out there for a little bit of time.
You should do it for yourself.
Yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun. When you lived in Germany, you said it was where?
In Frankfurt.
In Frankfurt, okay.
And we lived on the German economy.
Was your daughter born there?
No.
Okay.
No, we lived there the first year of our marriage, and then came home, and she was born a year later.
Gotcha. So what do you and your husband get to do now when you're relaxing?
He watches a lot of news, and I don't. It's just not something I'm interested in because, in my opinion, it's
pretty toxic nowadays.
Right. It's not a whole lot I could do besides say it's all very toxic. Yes.
It could be. Yeah, for sure. I guess whatever type you're digesting on a regular basis.
Right.
So, do you have a favorite show or movie, Ginger?
No, I'm pretty hooked on, and this is horrible to admit, I'm pretty hooked on Hallmark and watch a lot of love stories.
Oh, my mom loves the Hallmark Channel.
Oh, it's great.
Constantly watching the Hallmark Channel.
But, you can pretty much figure out how it's going to turn out in 10 minutes.
They're all pretty much the same.
Yeah. However, it takes you away from all the confusion in life and makes you realize that love is a very important thing.
Yeah, well, you can't watch the Hallmark Channel and not fall in love with somebody, right? So that's just the way that it is. It's there for all of us. Do you have a favorite book or author, even a seminar maybe that you've attended that you feel like has made an impact on you personally or professionally?
Early on, I read a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Yes, and I think that really
Who's the author of that again?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I just don't
remember that made me realize that fear is what stifles 99% of the people that don't do anything.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. Especially people who were employees prior or on salary, and then they go into entrepreneurship for the first time. As you said, that fear of not knowing when that next paycheck is going to come, that can really stifle a lot of people. Yeah. But you got through it, Ginger.
Yeah,
and now look at you. So that's a great book. I appreciate the recommendation. I don't think anyone else has brought that up yet. But I've heard of it, and I know I've read snippets of it, but I haven't actually taken the time to read the whole book, so I probably should. Do you have a favorite food?
I'm Italian, so
That explains it then, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Anything Italian is going to make you happy?
yes.
Okay.
Although I like eating like Greek food too. You know,
So if someone wants to get on your good side, that's the way to do it?
the father of my grandsons is American born Greek, so we went to Greece 3 different times.
Nice.
And yeah, it's really to eat fresh seafood when you can see them just catching the squid and beating it and getting the ink out of it and then putting it on the grill. It's just a whole new experience.
And there's something different, I feel like, about the food there
It's all fresh.
versus here. It's a little bit of a
They
different
don't
experience.
use preservatives like we do.
No, I know. It's just even when I went to Italy and I spent a little bit of time in Ireland and England, and yeah, I don't know. You feel like the food that you're having is just better for you.
Yeah,
you know, healthier
fresh,
for sure.
Fresh, yeah,
yeah, absolutely. So, from your perspective, Ginger, you know, I'm sure you've seen these markets ebb and flow over time, and you've seen the great markets and the bad markets, and agents come and go at the same time. Would you recommend people to get a real estate license and still get into this crazy industry, or what?
I think it's a personal choice. I mean, do I recommend that if they're really ethical people and want to do the right thing, I think they could make a lot of money.
Sure.
In this industry regardless. And people say, oh, the market this and the market that. People are always going to get married, divorce, die, move up, move down.
Yep.
There's always going to be activity in the market.
There's always going to want to be people who want to find a place to live.
Exactly.
Right. And I'm curious because obviously with my perspective, I get to interview a lot of top producers and I can see trends of like, you know, what are some strategies? What are some personality traits that help them really succeed at high levels? But again, with your perspective and your background in working with over 1,100 agents at one point as a managing broker and just your experience in working and collaborating with other agents on your transactions over the years, what are some specific trends that you feel like you've noticed in the top producing agents compared to maybe anyone else?
Well, I think the top producing agents practice real estate like we did back when I got started.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think they realize the responsibility they have and they take it very seriously, and then they do what's right. I think there's so many, I hate to say young people, but there's so many people that get into this business for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
They think they're going to get filthy rich overnight.
Just easy money, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And it really isn't easy money at all. They find that out pretty quick, though, I think.
Yes.
And they usually are the ones that don't last.
Right.
But if they're in it for the motivation of really wanting to build a brand that could be sustainable and knowing that they truly have to serve people,
Right.
then there's still a great opportunity, I would say, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, you've definitely done that, Ginger. You've built the brand. I always respect anybody who can do any business for, 30 plus years and do it well, as you have thousands of clients, 300 million plus in volume. How long have you been with Real Broker, by the way?
Since the beginning of the year.
Okay. What constituted the change for you?
Just the structure of their model. You know, that when you get to the point where you are in your career like I am, you look very seriously at expenses and where you can cut them.
Sure.
And it proved to me that the move was going to be the right thing for me to do. Within 2 months, I was at 100%.
Nice.
And it's just been a very comfortable move for me.
Yeah. That's good. I'm glad you're happy. And you
Yes.
seem very at peace
Yeah.
with your business, with your lifestyle, with your family. And I think that ultimately that's what it's all about, right? Fulfillment.
Exactly.
No doubt. So when you do, and I'll ask you this legacy question as we put a bow on our episode, but when you at one point sit on that rocking chair and you think back to what you'd want to be most remembered for, what's most important to you, what some people would say what that legacy is, what would you want to be most remembered for, Ginger?
For my ethical behavior in a transaction, for my interaction with other people and being willing to share my knowledge with them, and just for the fun that I had the whole time I was a realtor.
Yeah, and it seems like you really enjoyed it over the years,
Yeah,
huh?
I have.
Wouldn't trade it for anything else, huh?
I had no idea I was going to make the kind of money I did.
Sure.
I really didn't. I was rookie of the year when I went in. The first year I was a realtor, and it was like, how did that happen? just sitting there thinking back, I look at all the titles I've held, and very humbly, I've been very appreciative over the recognition I've gotten in my career.
Well, I think what you said earlier about how you were willing to do some of the dirty work, some would say, like the renting of the apartments
Right.
and all that stuff. That probably some agents, even when they're new, are just not willing
No.
to put in that type of work and to see the bigger picture, right, on where that could lead. That explains why you would be a rookie of the year, because you're willing to put in the effort,
Right.
And I think you mentioned your dad might be having a part of that with some of the stuff that he taught you
Yes.
with that work ethic. So if somebody did want to pick your brain a little bit, Ginger, just, whether about maybe they're going through a hard time when it comes to the real estate business, they're even doubting whether they should stay in the real estate business, and they can be inspired by your story and how you've been through the ups and the downs during these years. What's the best way for somebody to reach you?
Well, my phone number is 813-810-8325, and I answer my phone unless it says potential spam. And I'm always willing to share my knowledge with someone to help them, to coach them through whatever they're going through so that they can continue on in a good vein.
No doubt. Sounds good. Well, Ginger, it was great to have you. I'm excited that we got to dive into your story a little bit more. And for people who might not have known some of the details, hopefully they learned something today. We always try to challenge our audience with an action step, whether you're watching live on any of our platforms or you're listening to any of the 15 plus podcast platforms that are some of your favorites out there. And as a side note, if you don't already subscribe to our podcast, just click the button that says subscribe. That way you'll be notified every time we drop a new episode, which is weekly, every Friday here. And what's one thing, right? One thing that you can take from our conversation today with Ginger that'll help propel your business forward personally or professionally. Maybe you're somebody who, again, has been a little bit doubting whether you really maybe you want to be in real estate, but you're just struggling with the results and you're not sure where to get them. And somebody like Ginger, who has seen some of those ebbs and flows, can probably be a great resource, for somebody like that. She's also seen a lot of different market ebbs and flows over the years. And right now, the last couple of years or so, it's been an interesting market, I would say, in Tampa Bay. And some people don't know how to handle that, right? And so Ginger might be a great resource there as well. You also heard her just share some of her tips about the referral generation and how she built the referral base, even just the personal notes as a great tip. But what's something that you can take action on that can help propel you forward? Maybe it's even the book recommendation that she threw out there. But something you can take from our episode so that the time you invested in watching will be worth it and help move you forward in the right direction. And that's why we do this, is to try to get people to the next level. And if you're not yet a top producer, check out topproducersnation.com to learn more about our community program to help you get there. We, of course, will see you on the next episode of Tampa Bay Real Producers Podcast. We'll see you later. Bye.
Hey, I'm Leah Hersworm with Keller Williams Realty St. Pete. I'm with the Hersworm Homes Group. I'm so excited to be here today at the local to speak on the panel of Build It Big and Build It Fast through Tampa Bay's Real Producers. I'm so thankful to be a part of this organization. It was amazing being on stage with several other people who have started their business, in the last few years, and to hear their takeaways of how we have built big businesses quickly. And so it was really awesome to be here and to give back to our local real estate community. I'm a firm believer that there's enough business for us all to be successful. So it was just really awesome to kind of share tips and tricks of how we got started and, how we got where we are today. I think it's so important to network. Many people may look at it as we're in competition, and that is the case. We are in competition. However, like I said, I'm a firm believer there's enough business for us all to be successful, and if I can help someone learn from my mistakes so that they can do it better, I'm all for that. I love to come from contribution. I love to learn from other agents. I think you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? If someone has had success doing something, let's take that and implement it into our own business. I think it's really important to come to events like this because you get to meet other agents who are in our specific market. Most likely your paths are going to cross. Unfortunately, there's agents out there who burn bridges, and that's not what you want to do. Most likely your paths are going to cross again, And you want to make good relationships, because ultimately you're probably going to be working together at some point to bring both your buyer and your seller to a happy transaction closing. So if you are looking for amazing networking opportunities, please come out to the next Real Producers event. You will not be disappointed. They're a lot of fun, so I hope to see you there.